All right, trying this again. Good thing this is a short video if I got to record it twice. Once again, this video is less contemporary, less current events, more historical stuff. We're talking about agricultural origins and their diffusion. So a lot of this should be familiar to like way back in middle school. Other of it is a lot of common sense. So let's look back in time, right? Agriculture and civilization started at all these different points. And because they're in different physical locations with different physical features and climates, agriculture is going to create uh, different different foods. They're going to raise different animals, and then of course, eventually that's going to spread. So you'll be able to now we're able to eat foods from all over the world, basically, right? Remember the word hearth here. So just like a cultural hearth, you have these agricultural hearths. We're not going to learn about each and every one. But let's look at three main examples. I'm sure you all learned about the Fertile Crescent back in middle school. We'll talk about Southeast Asia and in Central America. So in the Fertile Crescent, you see up here, right? Fertile, meaning it was a good area to grow things. They grew things like wheat, barley, rye, oats, olives, things to make bread, things to drink beer, things to grow healthy, right? And think about where they're going to spread to first. They're going to spread to the areas right around them first, right? It's not going to go from the Fertile Crescent right to America. It's not going to go from the Fertile Crescent right to Antarctica or Southern Africa, right? It's going to go to North and East Africa. It's going to go to Europe. It's going to go to other parts of the Mideast, right? Southeast Asia, if you don't know where that is on a map, go ahead and look it up, right? They were making things like taro, mango, and coconut. And once again, spreading to areas nearby, it's going to go to places like the East Indies and Japan. Now, you should know where Central America is. They're growing things like potatoes, squash, peppers. So it's going to go to other parts of the Americas before it ends up going to, say, Europe or Africa or wherever. So, two main types of diffusion that you've learned about in the past to reflect on. So, how do these grains, these vegetables, these animals go from one area to another? Think of trade routes. So the most popular one we have from back here would be the Silk Road. So this is going basically from one part of the old world to another. So things from China could make its way to, New Amsterdam or places on the east coast of Africa, things like that. What about on the Western Hemisphere? You should have learned about the Columbian Exchange. I know we mentioned that this year as well. If you don't remember what it is, go ahead, look it up. But it's once Spain and Portugal too, once they conquered Mesoamerica and parts of South America, you're getting, yes, diseases, but also animals and foods. So you have ones from the old world going to the new world for the first time and then staying there permanently. Like, hey, they brought us dandelions, thanks. And then places from the new world going to the old world for the first time, right? So think of the new world showing people in Europe and Africa, like, hey, look at tomatoes. Italy's never been the same, right? Look at potatoes. Ireland's never been the same, right? And then think of the old world bringing to the Americas bananas, lemons, but also think horses, right? How much that impacted Native American culture, cows, pigs, all those sorts of things. Right? Other things have impacted this as well. Population migration, we learned about that earlier this year. But you have immigrants going to new places. They'll grow crops that are familiar to them. They'll make foods that are familiar to them. The Green Revolution, we can discuss that more in class. You can look that up if you need to refresh about that. Know that that did lead to a loss of genetic variety, right? They might not make 100 different types of this one vegetable anymore. They'll mass produce, mass grow one, right? Increased wealth as less developed countries gain more wealth. Their demand for animal proteins goes up. So this relates to what we saw two videos ago, the slash and burn, the Amazon, to raise cattle for beef consumption. And of course, it seems like every video we either mention Kurdistan or McDonald's. You have transnational corporations as they're spreading globally. It's increasing demand for other new types of foods to areas. They're also modifying their menu to meet the demands of local interests in the agricultural menu. So all these things made an impact. Let's hope this video saves. And we had a video this week, a birthday this week, so I just want to keep celebrating.